Okay, this will be the last video for the next couple of hours. So, I want to talk about experience being a teacher. In the following video, we'll touch on some racist ass shit. So, if you're racially sensitive or you have something against people of other races, this probably isn't the video for you. If you're under 18, you probably want to go back to channel 1 and watch like some kung fu action so that you can actually have a decent day. This video will talk about my experiences with police and other racist ventures, and I really want to put a stop to racism. And the only way you're ever going to learn about racism is through other people's experiences if you've never had a racist incident. Now, I make videos like this every now and again to basically wake everyone up. And in the light of August 12th, I will tell you this, that when I first started making videos, I wanted to make kung fu movies, and then I wanted to be like Michael Moore and make a documentary. And I wanted to call the documentary My America and how racism still exists in America. I never could get people to actually answer my flyers or my ads because I needed people. I wanted two people of every ethnicity. Initially, I wanted four people of every ethnicity to talk to me in camera. I was going to ask them 21 questions about racist stuff that has happened to them and give them time to tell their story. Now, the good news is I couldn't get anybody to show up. I know you're thinking, James, why is that good news? Now, let me explain to why it is good news. Because, one, like me, I'm pretty sure who's ever had a racist incident, they want to go into detail and tell the whole story. And I would have to edit and cut it unless I did a live streaming. And when computers first came out, and like now, I have no fucking knowledge of technology whatsoever. And I wouldn't be able to tell everybody's complete story, and I would probably leave out the shit that I would leave out would probably be the incriminating details that would be needed to be seen or heard or said. And the good news is, since no one showed up to tell me their stories, I don't have to feel bad about having to leave the bulk of their shit out in the editing room. Because if you get two Asians of every Asian ethnicity, you get two black people and two white people, you're going to get a lot of people. And when I say Asian ethnicity, that counts Native Americans and Indians with the dots, not the feathers, as, part of the Asian aspect. And that would also include Mexicans. And so, you know, I would have to decipher all of their stories because I couldn't just do like the Chinese point of view, the Vietnamese point of view, or the Korean point of view, or the Indians from India, or the West Indies or Afghanistanians or any of that, because they're all Asian and they all have different experiences, and I would have to cut through so much stuff, and I don't want to let anybody feel left out, so that wouldn't work for me. So like I said, that was good news. It was bad news, but it was good news because in the end I don't have to decipher and pick story after story. And everybody has a hard luck racist story. Even white people have a hard luck racist story. Yes, white people have racist stories. For those people who have just turned in, who don't think that white people go through racist shit, you would be wrong. There are white people who have had racist events from other whites and from blacks and from other racist people, because racism is blind, but it is in every ethnicity ever. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is a racist. That's not what I'm saying. Listen to what I said and not what you think you've heard. What I said was that there are racists in every ethnicity. There have been racist people who have hated white people for no other reason other than they had bad experiences with other white people, so they take it out on white people who aren't racist. And instead of listening to them and hearing their story, they just wear that racist blindfold. Oh, all white people are racist. I have white people in my family that are not racist that will die for black people. Alright? And same, they have us in their family who will die for white people. And Native Americans who will die for both people. So, yeah, we don't have the right to be racist. But I can only speak from my family. I'm not saying who is and who isn't in my family that is racist, but for the most part, I specifically speak for myself on I don't have the right to be a racist. And I do my damnedest to not be. And the part of making this video right here is to prevent more racist shit from happening around the world. It's not gonna happen. One man truly can't make a difference. I used to believe that one man could make a difference because I'm like the biggest X-Men fan ever. But I have learned in reality that sometimes one man really can't make a difference depending on the situation. Now, when I was gonna make my America, I was fixing it to, you know, lay down the termination routes. I'm cutting this damn thing off. That way, not only can I get a full charge, but it'll stop pinging while I'm filming. Not only would it make a standard point, but it would also, you know, touch everybody on that level to make us all sit back and think, damn, do I do this? Have I done this? Why do I do this? Why have I done this? And that was the whole gist of making it. Since the movie never got made, and I'm only giving you the gist of it, I wanted to basically sit there and have somebody tell at least one story of bad racism and one example of good racism, of things that happened to them. Alright? Now, there was one little snafu in the program, and that was some sock lint. Sock feet. Anyway, that one glitch was I don't fit into those percentiles because I'm multicultural. And finding people who are multicultural and are willing to admit it is where the in-line problem lies. You know, that one borderline of, well, what can I tell? Most people who are mixed can probably tell the same stories that I've told, just from a different perspective. As a mixed man growing up, my friends were cool until they found out that I was mixed. Then things changed, not just geographically, but on a racially geographical line of, and this has been said to me, and I hate to repeat it because I don't like using the N word, but I don't sugarcoat shit, so here we go. I have been told, you're not a real nigger, you're a half nigger. And that was from black people. And then with white people, it's like, yeah, we don't know if we can really say what we would generally say around white people because you're not really white, you're half white. And if you have one drop of black blood, you're basically black. Now, if they look at my mom, they probably wouldn't be able to tell. But at the same time, I've gone through this shit. I don't like reliving it. But if you don't know, then you won't know. And if no one talks, then no one learns. Alright? Now, I'm not a philosophy major. I probably should have took that. I'd still be jobless. But, you know, the thing with learning is that you can only learn from other people's experience if that person is willing to share that experience with you. I'm pretty sure that a lot of rape victims don't share their rape experience with people who have not been raped, unless they're doing it like as a speaker of the house or monitoring things. And I'm not like bringing that up just because of Me Too. Bringing that up because the facts speak for themselves. 1 in 1,000 women are raped every 20 seconds somewhere in the world. And the fact that no one takes account of it or that no one stops this shit from happening is very logical, that you would think that it would be noticed, you know. However, now those things do happen. So let me bring it to you in a nutshell. The racism that has struck Charlottesville in 2017 with the August 11 stuff, August 12, excuse me, is that, you know, it's always been here. It's just that this whole statue debacle blew it up. No, like literally blew it up. That being said, you know, it's one of those things that we have to happen. I need to text my mom because I don't want her to interrupt my recording, and I know that she will, because that's what parents do. And also cut the volume on my phone down so that nothing else interrupts it. But you know, the debacle of racism that got blown up on August 12th, it's not something new. For those who have been in Charlottesville and you are of color, and those who are not of color but support people of color, it's nothing new. It's a shame that a young lady had to lose her life to bring it to the forefront. But it is something that we have all basically in Charlottesville turned a blind eye to until the young lady died. And now that now that it's more to the forefront, people are um people are trying to still minimize and have damage control, and that happens, because that's what people do ethically. But no, morally, these things happen. No, and we have to acknowledge it, and a lot of us don't. Sorry. Anyway, the whole debacle of you know what's been going on in Charlottesville and in the world in general is the fact that no one wants to acknowledge racism. It is a very touchy subject, and most of the people who have racist experiences, they kind of want to wash their hands of it and put it behind them. And those who don't have it don't know because they turn a blind eye too without even realizing they turned a blind eye. I mean, how many people have walked past people having a racist conversation with someone where someone has hurt somebody's feelings by saying something exceptionally racist and no one has defended them? Or it's kind of like being bullied on in school. And I've been bullied on in school not just because of my height, but because of my mixed race and all kinds of other stuff. And things have just, people have turned a blind eye to it. Just like, all right, well, fuck it, he'll handle it. He'll either adapt or he'll ignore it or it'll go away. And sometimes it doesn't. And this is the issue that we face in America today with not acknowledging racism and not acknowledging other people's journeys or their struggles. And this is why experience will always be your teacher. Learn from other people's experiences. Ask somebody. No, I mean it's a touchy subject, and you will be afraid to ask people. But if you don't ask people, then you won't know, because you can't look at everybody and say, "You've been called the nigger once. You've been called the honky once. You've been called the spick. You've been called the goop. You've been called the slant eye. You've been called the wide eye. You've been called the gaijin. You've been called the guaylo. You've been called a paleface. You've been called chief." Like I said, if you don't ask, you won't know. And I've told many stories on here before about how I've been through some racist ass shit in my life, and I thought as I was growing up, it would get less noticeable. It wouldn't get worse, and I've never been wrong about anything in my life except for maybe three things maximum. The main thing that I had been wrong about was that, you know, people won't let you love someone if your races don't match. And that was the main thing that I was wrong about, because I thought that love would conquer all. And clearly, that's not the case in my situation. And then I was wrong about how people were more accepting of mixed people. And I was probably more wrong about eventually it will stop. And people will see me as a human and not as a half breed, a mixed person, or a mutt. Now, flipping that coin, I'm very happy being mixed. I'm very happy being a mutt. And I have adapted to the racial injustices that I have had to face. I'm 44 years old, so when I tell you something, it's because I've lived it. And the thing is, I didn't mean this video to go this far, but it's going there now, so it might be a two-parter, it might not. But I'm going there. I've had more racist incidences between cops striking attitude or black people just not liking me because of me being mixed. I've had more reverse racism than racism, but racism still the same. Every now and again, I can probably count on my hands, both hands, how many racist incidents I've had from white people versus how many races I've had from black people. I can count on my hands and toes. But that's through the years. It's not like in one day. Now, the reason I say that is because my white racist issues mostly happen in school or on a job. They've never been somewhere where there haven't been witnesses. Mind you, the witnesses did nothing or said anything in my defense or to say, hey man, that's not cool. Nowadays, people are speaking up a little more, but they should have been speaking up back when I was a child. When they were like, oh, we got a half breed. No, yeah, they should have been speaking up then, but they didn't. And the first time I heard half breed, it fucked me up. Now I was like, like the third or fourth grade, I didn't know they were talking about me. But the first time I heard the word nigger was like in that same grade because I punched the girl in the mouth that called me that. I regret doing that to this day because I knew martial arts and I shouldn't have been doing that. I should have been able to walk away and reflex. But as I gotten older, I heard it more, but I've had more self-control through martial art discipline. But as I got older and as I found out more of my heritage, nigger didn't bother me as much as chief. Chief really bothered me, and through high school, Lord, I couldn't stand being called chief. Thank you, Lou Diamond Phillips, by the way. Because of his movie Renegades, it seemed like everyone and their mamas was calling anybody who remotely looked like a Native American chief. And I had to deal with that shit for 4 years while I was in high school of somebody calling me chief. And I mean, this guy, he literally did this like every weekend, all weekend. And I tell you guys this, when I worked at Kegler's, I mean, he just kept calling me chief, calling me chief, calling me chief. And I was like, dude, I have a name tag. It's James. No, it's not a Native American name, but it's mine. And I would like you to call me by my name instead of calling me chief. And every hour he seen me, hey, chief, what's up, chief? So, eventually it started pissing me off. And, and this was before I knew Native Americans were Asian. I just thought we were from Atlantis. All right, so moving on. My my issues with like cops as of being treated racially in Charlottesville. You know, Once I got pulled over because they thought I was a black chick because I had longer hair than this, and that totally sucked. But they let me get 2 blocks before he wrote the ticket, and I was like, dude, I paid that ticket. Now before that, I had some incidences with cops, and one black cop from Goochland. He's like the only black cop from Goochland that ever actually probably let somebody go, and it was Christmas, so that was a blessing, and thank you, sir. I don't know your name, I don't remember it. I had a little green Festiva, so in case you remember me, thank you, sir. And if you don't remember me, I'll be coming through that way tomorrow. Anyway, so once I had a racist incident with a cop and a judge, and I went to court, and this is important because when the judge heard this, the judge was like flabbergasted. So I guess he had been hearing it all day, and I'm gonna stop right here and make a second video.